Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Benzinga Crypto Show. I'm your host, producer Aaron. With me, as always, is our lovely co-host, Catherine Ross. How are we doing today?
Hi, we're doing great despite the markets. It is very unsettling right now, but we're doing great for sure.
Yeah, and we'll get into that in a little bit. We're obviously, you know how the show runs. We're gonna get into, some headlines, some top coins of the day, and then we have a special interview for you guys today. An analyst, CEO from Quantify Crypto, and he is going to give us some insights on the markets today and why, everything is happening. So stick around for that very exciting show for you guys today.
Yeah, just to add to that, John is the CEO of Quantify Crypto, the very own heat map that we're using here every single show.
Every single show.
Yeah, he's a technical analyst with huge experience, and I think it's going to be very useful for you guys to understand where we're going and what to do and how to handle your portfolio. So yeah, we're just going to comment a little bit on the markets, and then John is going to come in and tell you even more.
So with that, let's see what the markets are looking like. I know you guys probably have some kind of clue as to what it is, but we're going to show you anyway, even though I feel bad showing you guys. Okay, here it is. Oh,
wow. That is something that I would call bloodbath.
Yeah. That's an actual bloodbath for sure.
Yeah. I believe that we might be entering a bearish market. John is going to comment on that a little bit later. But we do have a couple of headlines that suggest the same, right? So Bitcoin today dipped below 30K for the first time since January. And if you remember, in January, 30K was the number that the price actually went up from there. So it was very reassuring back at the time, but it is not really today. But I think if you remember, again, this is not investment advice, but this is the time where despite the fact that a lot of people are selling cryptocurrency, it might be a great time for investors and traders to come in and to probably buy a little bit more and put something in their portfolio. So analysts, as I've said before, analysts in fact do believe that crypto is entering a bearish market. And we're going to look at Keon Ju, who is the CEO of a day platform, CryptoQuant.com. He believes in fact, a lot of whales are moving their BTC from different exchanges, and we have seen an unprecedented number of BTC being moved between exchanges. So he believes that unfortunately he was right, because he always tweets about the market movement and where we're going. So he believes that we are going to see, I'm not going to say a bit, but we are going to see some sort of bid and downtrend movement from there. But he does recognize the fact that not a single indicator can tell for sure what's going to happen in the future. So anything can happen in the crypto market. And I quote, "I'm just saying this has been a pretty good indicator to determine a bull bear market for me." And another indicator that confirms a downtrend that we're looking at right now for Bitcoin price is the fact that the BTC death cross, which took place at least 5 weeks ahead of schedule, this is something that might be a sign for, again, a downtrend that we're seeing right now. By the way, Aaron, you can put this tweet from Rect Capital. This is a crypto trader. He also said pretty much the same. So this indicator, right, this indicator of the BTC death cross that happened a few weeks ahead, he previously stated that this indicator has historically led to price drops over 55%, which would mean, in this case, for today, a drop to a price level of $18,000. It is very scary to say the number like that, but this is something that might happen. And if you guys have been watching us, and I hope you have, we have shown you a bit of charts that reflect what happened previously with the crypto market. And this is something that we're seeing not the first time. This is, I would say, a natural course of events, but it is definitely a little bit stressful. So I'd love to comment a little bit on what we're getting on Twitter right now, and me personally, and I think everybody involved in the crypto space, especially from any publication. So when everything is going good and when everything is in green, what we receive is comments like pump it, sorry Ellie, it's a hype, pump the price, good, it's very good, it's great for development. But when we publish something that is not positive, we are being accused of trying to put the market and push the market down, which is not true. We are just reporting on what's happening. And I hope you guys understand that we're not taking any sides. And this is something that we have to do. Despite what happens, we report on Elon Musk tweeting the good stuff about Doge and Bitcoin and the bad stuff, right? So this is just a comment for me, for you guys to understand that we're just doing our job. Yeah, it would be weird for us to skip that, right? We're very Bitcoin pro, we're very crypto pro, so we're not going to cover the dip that we are experiencing right now. You just get go and figure it out for yourself. And one of your favorite coins is obviously Dogecoin, and I think one of the Aaron's actually favorite coin.
It was one of my favorites. It was.
Not anymore.
Let's not call it one of my favorites anymore.
Okay. What happened? Did it break your heart?
It broke my heart.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. So, despite the fact that Bitcoin has actually dropped to as low as 29K, which we saw a little bit earlier today, Dogecoin actually had a downtrend that is even more in percentage, right? Even more than those of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it looks like it is entering a downward spiral after another China statement, right? We have seen since 2017, we have seen and we have heard different headlines and different news from China putting crackdown on cryptocurrency mining, on cryptocurrency trading, on cryptocurrency exchanges, and events like that. And it keeps happening, and I think it's going to keep happening. So we just have to understand what's going on. And I think a lot of sell-off that is happening right now might come from China and from Chinese traders, from Asia-based traders, because a lot of trading volume actually belongs to China. And if you look at different exchanges, the highest priced is always coming from Asia-based exchanges in the first place. So Dogecoin has actually lost over 27% of value in the past 24 hours. Again, it doesn't look pretty good. Despite the fact that Elon Musk might be the biggest fan of this cryptocurrency, or the biggest influencer at this point, I would say, even Elon Musk himself wouldn't save it. A lot of comments, you can see a lot of comments on your crypto Twitter feed saying that, yo, Elon Musk, please tweet something to make sure that the price goes up. And complaints about, I lost so much money because you told us to invest into this meme-based cryptocurrency, right? But the fact is that he never encouraged, I think, directly. He directly never did that. So you couldn't actually blame him or accuse him of making you put your money somewhere. So yeah, and the only comment that we have seen from him in the past 24 hours is him praising one of the Dogecoin developers, Ross Nicole, I think that's, yeah, he announced that he would be doing another run through of the free reduction code live on the testnet. Elon just tweeted that I think it's an important improvement. So, and even that tweet didn't help the price. What we're going to see a little bit, what we're going to see right now, right? Community criticism towards Musk, that he does not do enough to pump the price, and that even what we're seeing right now is even bigger drop compared to what we saw. I think from the CNL performance that we saw early May, I think it was May 8th. Elon Musk was hosting CNL, and despite the bets that we made, me personally, I was sure that the price was going to go up but I was wrong. The price actually plummeted at that point.
Yep.
Aaron, let's show a bit of tweets that we have seen over the crypto feed. And while Aaron is putting the tweets out there,
so well, I had one quick question here.
Yeah.
So, do you think Dogecoin will ever run back up, or is it done for, or you think we're done for here?
In my personal opinion, of course. I'm not sure about the time, right? The timing and the period of time that we're going to suffer what we're suffering right now, but it's definitely going to go up. It's the way the market works.
Okay.
So we might be. Was that the question from the chat or your person?
No, that was my question. That was my question.
Are you afraid of your investment choices?
No, I am curious, but
Okay.
I'm sure we'll get a take on that from John coming up in the next 4 minutes. So quickly, let's keep moving along here. Which feed did you actually want me to pull up here?
Yeah, community criticism.
Oh, yes.
Literally, it's community criticism in our doc. So overall, Dogecoin actually lost over $70 billion in market cap. So what we're seeing right now is not looking great and it's not very reassuring. I can see it from here, but it's a huge drop in price. And I really need John to comment on that. But so again, from my perspective, there is nothing to be afraid of. This might be a time to consider reevaluating your portfolio or trading choices. But this is, again, might be something what we call crypto winter. And if you remember correctly, crypto winter, we call crypto winter periods in time where the crypto market drops, the entire crypto market and trading volume and the value and market cap drops and plummeted and does not go up for quite a long time. Usually, this is something like a very quiet time. We don't have a lot of headlines over that time, but I'd love to reassure you guys, because despite all of that, we are still seeing a lot of new investments coming into the space. A lot of institutions are doing something with cryptocurrency, introducing cryptocurrency desks, trading desks of Ethereum futures and everything like that. I think it's actually, I think it personally, it reassures me for sure.
Yep. Catherine, real quick, from Ruel in the chat. Catherine, do you think Elon will try to pick up and fix Doge?
I was wrong in the past, but I think, yes, I think he will try to do something. But one of my concerns is that he might have realized what kind of influence he holds over the cryptocurrency market. So this might be something that he's afraid to do right now, because if you remember, I think 2 weeks ago when he was replying to Cointelegraph tweet about like when he's gonna introduce BTC payments again, he said that the very announcement of halt and BTC payment for Tesla was done to reassure that it's not going to influence the market. And they sold over, I think, a little bit less than 10% of their BTC holdings. And this was also done, and I quote, to reassure that we're not going to influence the market, So maybe this is something that he's considering, but personally, I think that he will tweet something.
Yeah. Well, we'll see something eventually, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
We're going to see something pretty soon, and we're not sure on the exact timeline, but at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with that, I think it is time to bring on our guest. He's going to provide us some really cool insights into this market and how we can navigate our portfolio when cryptocurrency tumbles. So with us today, let me pull off my screen, is John Barry, CEO of Quantify Crypto. How are we doing, John?
I am doing great. I'm so happy to be on the show with you, Aaron and Catherine. Thank you.
Fantastic. No, it's a pleasure to have you here, and I hope you're doing well today.
I'm doing well. I was a little worried 4 hours ago, but I'll talk about that in a little bit.
Let's get into it, John. Yes, if you could give us your background into entering the crypto space and how. Or your background with Quantify Crypto as well for the audience.
Okay, just to give my quick background, I've been in the fintech area for about 30 years. I spent 23 years working at the New York Stock Exchange, where I started at pretty entry level and worked my way up the ladder to the point where I was in charge of speed and performance of all the NYSE computer systems when high frequency trading was just getting started. And I had a great career there. Then my son came along and told me about Bitcoin a few years ago. And spring break in 2017 was talking about Bitcoin. We invested, we were very successful, and we decided to start a cryptocurrency website. That's the real digest story. My son is very good with algorithms, and he has exceptional knowledge of cryptocurrency. I kind of know traditional markets more, and when I came in, it was really the wild, wild west. And we soon realized it was very hard to keep track of what was going on, so we designed the website Quantify Crypto to help keep track of this very fast-moving market. That's the quick background.
That's an amazing story, and we have seen a lot of people from the traditional finances coming into the crypto space, and I think this is very cool that we're seeing experienced people like you joining the space. So from me, I'm interested in the basics of technical analysis for crypto, because it's not really the same with stocks. So can you tell us a little bit about that, and what kind of indicators you looking at, just a basic technical analysis for any cryptocurrency?
Sure. We did a lot of research, Alex and I, and we found out that a momentum algorithm works really well, but not at the time candlestick periods you use for stocks. Since crypto moves so severely, you really need to look at the shorter time ranges. So we focus all the way down to 5-minute candlesticks and all the way to 2-hour candlesticks, and everywhere in between. Where in traditional stocks, the 200-day moving average and the 50-day moving average are very important, and so are many other analytics. But in this 24-hour, 7 days a week market, you really need a good momentum algorithm, was our research. We looked at traditional technical analysis. We looked at the RSI, and we found for the short-term periods, RSI is reversed with the way it works for crypto. So if you have a 5-minute, 15-minute, or 30-minute RSI, and it goes to 70 or above, in the stock, that means overbought, time to sell. But in crypto, that's saying, hey, look at me, I'm up 1%, and I might pump up to plus 20%. And I can go on, but I really want to talk about what's happening in the market today.
Oh yeah, for sure. So just to your point, right? We kind of mentioned that you're gonna comment on what's going on right now. So are we entering the bearish market? Is this
in my opinion, we've already been in the bearish market, and we're near the end of what I would call the bearish market. The peak was 55K to 62K, and 4 hours ago, we were hitting 28,800, and that was a severe test. And it clearly showed Bitcoin at below 30K is a very strong support level. So it just wasn't Bitcoin, it was all the altcoins. Everything was down severe 4 hours ago. And then 30K has been great support for the month of June. And what was encouraging was the high volume that came with the support level. It was the highest volumes of the day, very high volume, and very nice, strong bounce back.
So we're currently, I'm just looking at Bitcoin, we're currently at 32K, almost actually 33. And as you mentioned, this is a very, 30K is a very strong support point and support level. Do you agree with Ki Yon-ji, the CEO of another data platform, that he said that we might see, that was a Rect Capital crypto trader, that we might see a downtrend up to 18K?
I disagree with that. Yes, I totally disagree with that. I think when things are really negative, you get the big negative comments coming out. But the fact of the matter is, if you look from the beginning of the year, most cryptocurrency is still up. I see strong support consistently all year at the 30K level. And I think we're proven 30K is a great support level. I think we are in a trading range right now. And I think Bitcoin has to show support. You know, a lot of people wanted to go right back up and recover. But for me, I want to see Bitcoin to be steady at this rate for multiple days.
So you're not thinking that it's going to go lower than 30? Or it might fluctuate a little bit?
It might fluctuate a little bit. We might test 28.8 or something close to that, but I think that time will be very short, because I think the time to be selling the alarm bells was going when it went from 62K down to 45K. That was the time to be selling, because at that point it was really time to sell high. And if you haven't sold yet, I think you should just hold on. If you have sold, I think it's a good time to dollar cost average in.
Okay.
Yeah, just to follow up, and then I'll let Aaron speak. You've mentioned that we might be at the end of a bearish market. So what kind of timing we're talking about to actually enter a bull market again?
It's going to rely, you mentioned the crypto quant person and the whale indication. I think that's a key factor to follow. I think a few weeks ago, we heard FUD coming out of China, and people were like brushing off, oh, China's done this before, China's done this before. But new evidence showed China's really following through on it this time. And part of it doesn't pass the sniff test, because where they're shutting down cryptocurrency mining is in the real hydroelectric sections of China, where they have so much energy generation, they cannot use all the energy that's generated. Nick Carter has a very great video on this, how they have so much excess power. And it's really a perfect place to mine Bitcoin, because they have all this excess power. And it's a head scratcher that Chinese are all of a sudden shutting down these mining rigs, and it just doesn't really pass the sniff test. And you were mentioning earlier, there's a lot of Asian sellers, and I think that's very true. So I think for the next bull market to start, I think you're going to need some clarity on what really is going on in China, and are these crypto miners going to come back online? And if they're not, where are these crypto miners going to get replaced? I think it's a very big story.
No, yeah, that's great. I do want to follow up. I do have a quick question, then we do have a few questions from the chat here that I want to get to. So off of tying back into what you were saying about China there, we have a comment from NCal in the chat. Would you provide your comment on China replacing their currency with their own crypto? And after you answer that, I will ask another question from the chat.
I believe they're referring to digital yen.
Digital yen, okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pass on that. Like, I have my opinion. I think they definitely wanted digital yuan, but it's not my area of expertise. So I can have that opinion, but I really have no greater insight than anybody else who would.
No problem at all. So one question that I had, so based on all of the analyst price predictions this year, we've obviously gotten some ridiculous price predictions. We've gotten some, somewhat normal price predictions as well. So how is it even possible to predict the exact price movement of any cryptocurrencies? Like, what kind of tips or, tricks or rates do you have that kind of help you in creating your own price predictions or targets?
Okay, I'm an exception where I do not make price predictions. My role is to really show a direction of the trend. And right now the trend is negative, and I want to see that trend pause and head back. Fundamentally, I like the innovation of the blockchain. I like the fact that Bitcoin is anti-inflationary, and you have the Federal Reserve printing money. And this is not just the US, this is across the world to stimulate economies because of coronavirus. And so Bitcoin's going to have its day again, and all the other leading projects are going to have its day again. But I'm not going to be like a willy woo that says, oh, it's going to 300,000, and just be and I have a very poor opinion of him, actually, by the way. We can talk about that another time. But I feel like when you make a price prediction, let's say, oh, Bitcoin's going to 55K, that puts into your mind as a trader, I'm going to hold on until 55K hits. But if your indicators are going up and you're making a good profit and Bitcoin's up at 45,000, you have to be doing the right thing and taking some profits off the table at that point. You just can't be, oh, it's going to 55K and be blind to that. And so you have to be smart, dollar cost average in, and taking small pieces out of profits while it goes up. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm waiting for it to go to 55K to make my maximum gain. No, you have to lock in gains, is my philosophy.
So
That's
you're
very smart. Yep.
you're not making any predictions, right? So I was going to follow up with like what kind of successful rate you have in terms of predictions, right?
Mhm.
Because if you make a prediction about the price, even if it's a short term or just about any movement that we're going to see, I've talked to Brian Kelly, CNBC's Brian Kelly, and he said that he's 50% right, which is a huge number, right? So I think it doesn't make sense to ask you that, you know, if you're right all the time or what kind of percentage you have. If you're just analyzing what kind of movement is
Yeah.
happening in 2 hours and 5 hours.
I make moves based on where I see the momentum going, and our research shows crypto tends to make smaller price moves before it has a larger price move. So I want to see the crypto market get stable, then start to go up, and that's when I'll go in full force. And that's like kind of what our trend algorithm does, is detect small movements. And this has like really repeated itself over the past 3 years. I call it like the set up the signal, where you see the market flatten, small move, and that's when you go in. And so the key is to be on the correct side of these significant price moves.
I know you've said that you do technical analysis. You prefer to do technical analysis for the crypto space. Can you comment a little bit about why not sentiment, why not on-chain, and why not fundamental kind of analysis?
Okay, I think sentiment is very important. So I think good sentiment analysis is very key. I think on-chain is a definite part of your fundamental analysis. And I'm a big believer doing both fundamental analysis and technical analysis. But I feel technical analysis is so important in crypto because, like in the stock market, you have quarterly reports, you have lots of visibility with the CEO, what these different projects are doing. Where in crypto, price patterns are much more important, and you really have to focus on that. And we found like the 1 hour candlesticks is like the Bible, you know, found the momentum of 1 hour candlesticks will show you great results. I know it's not the most popular opinion with a lot of analysts. They like the daily ranges. I like the daily resistant levels. I like the daily support levels, but for momentum, you really want to follow the trend as your friend.
Oh, that's some great insight there. Just kind of veering away from Bitcoin just a little bit. Just a few comments from chat from Solar Up. Barry, do you have any thoughts? He called you Barry there. Do you have any thoughts on ADA and colored rollout of the Alonzo area? And more on that, do you see that there could be a possible detachment of ADA from other coin movements, maybe not be tied to Bitcoin as much as others?
Okay. I'm a big believer in innovation and following the leaders in the innovation. And my son probably is more into ADA, but I'm more into Ethereum. I look at Ethereum and I see Ethereum is the leader. They were the first to innovate the smart contract. They run like a corporation, quite frankly. They have the Ethereum Alliance, which helps businesses innovate with Ethereum. They have the Ethereum Foundation, which helps support projects develop on Ethereum. They are the leader for more developers working on the Ethereum product than any other. I think they might have more developers for Ethereum than the rest of the blockchain combined. They have been proven to be the adoption leader. You can look at Chainlink, Aave, Uniswap, Hex, Synthetics, and there's like at least 50 key projects running on Ethereum. And so when you get Cardano saying we're going to be better than Ethereum, I want them to prove that they have significant projects on ADA before I jump onto the ADA wagon. You know, to me, prove it. If you're going to be better than Ethereum, show me one great project that's going to make ADA a great investment for me. So that's just my take, where I think Ethereum is the leader in that field. And that's not even talking about the DeFi space, which is filled with innovation with companies like Uniswap, Aave, Synthetics. We're going to be talking about decentralized for years, and it's going to expand and grow. And Ethereum is a big part of that.
Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time, so we're going to finish with the last question. So any tips and or recommendations for traders how to maintain a healthy attitude and not to lose your mind in a space that never stops?
Okay, the thing is, I definitely have rules. I would say the most important tip is not to trade on margin. We can talk about how Willy Woo got wrecked on margin. That's a whole nother discussion with adaptive capital. But you don't want to trade on margin, and you want to have buy low, sell high. Like if I have $1,000 I want to put into the crypto space, I want to break that into 4 bundles at $250 and buy some today and plan to buy some a month from now, and so on and so on. But when my investment of $1,000 goes to $2,000, I'm going to half that and say, this is my long-term hold. I'm going to enjoy it and watch it go up greatly in 3 to 5 years. But Bitcoin has lost 20% of its value over the last 3 years, I think 17 times, while it's been enjoying the best overall bull market or performance of any asset class. So the volatility is on steroids. And so not to do some of the trading opportunities of buying low and selling high, but only do it with profits you've made from your investment.
Thank you for that. Actually, we did say we were going to let you go, but a question just came up in the chat. It's a pretty technical question. I feel like the audience will very much appreciate if you answer this. This is from Rudy the Rock. From a tech chart point of view, do you, John, also see a Wyckoff pattern at the point where the central shakeout is still to come and kind of indicated today with a possible pullback to 24, 25K?
I don't see a pullback going to 24 or 25K. I see the volume, which I'm not a Wyckoff expert. I do follow my own analytics. I'm more MACD, I'm more RSI. I know the Wyckoff has been getting a lot of press lately, but volume is important. I know it's a big feature of it, but I tend to specialize in the technical analysis I do. When I view the trend is weak right now, I want to see the trend get flat and then get positive. So I know I'm not answering the question, but I still see strong support at 30K, and I think I'm going to keep playing it as if it's 30K. But I'm in my long-term holdings, and I did buy a little bit of the dip, and I'll probably buy a little bit more when I see it go to a positive trend. That might be at 34K, 35K, and resistance is at 40K right now. That's been like the trading pattern for the last month.
Okay, thank you for that. Even if you
and
didn't
I guess
fully
my
answer the
last word
question.
of advice is never panic, and that's
There we go.
like if you're in a great investment, these little small dips a year from now is going to seem like, thank God I didn't sell it. So that's just, you have to remember that.
Awesome.
But we do get a lot of panic in the crypto markets.
Yeah. It's all about staying calm. Awesome. Thank you so much, John Barry, CEO of Quantify Crypto. Guys, if you haven't seen his work, or if you want to check him out, his website is quantifycrypto.com. I will throw that in the chat very soon. John, thank you so much for joining us. This was super insightful. The chat loved you. Got some great questions answered, and I think we're going to have to do this again one day.
Yeah, thank you so much
that'd be great.
knowledge. Yeah, for the knowledge you shared, and definitely I agree with Aaron. We're gonna have you back to talk more about technical analysis and not price predictions and everything else related.
Exactly.
Okay, Catherine, Aaron, thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed it.
Awesome. It was a pleasure. Have a great rest of your day.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Awesome. What a fantastic interview. John was a great guy. A lot of insight there. Super appreciative.
I'd love to have him more. I would love to have more time to. I do have just tons of questions.
I know we say it every time, and the show is only 30 minutes, but it definitely needs to be longer.
To talk with? Like,
who do we need to bribe? Who do we need to beat up? We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen.
I'm ready to bribe Spencer. I'm ready. Yeah, let's make it happen. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We hope that it was helpful. Don't forget to tune in on Thursday. And Aaron?
Yes, we will be back Thursday. Smash the like, subscribe if you haven't already. We're bringing you these awesome interviews from executives in the crypto space, guys, analysts who know so much, way more than I could ever know. So it's awesome to talk to these guys, and very, very insightful. All right, I think that's our show, Catherine. So you guys stick around, stay tuned. I'm going to send you over to Biotech Buzz with Vivi and Rohan. that's coming up. You guys don't have to do anything. Just stay on the screen, and that will be coming up shortly. So guys, thank you again for joining us. Have a fantastic Tuesday. We're on Tuesday, right? Yes,
Yeah.
Have a fantastic Tuesday. Have a fantastic Wednesday. We'll see you back here on Thursday. All right, everybody. Be well.